Welcome back to Middle-earth. Last time, quite a lot happened. Gollum was ransomed and died of heart failure, Frodo was horrendously disfigured in war, and Aragorn took out his baby rage on Pippin. Oh, and we finally united the Shire. Yeah, it was pretty cursed. But just you wait, because you haven't even seen the start of it. In this video we will be taking Frodo Baggins to greater heights, expanding west and south, fulfilling all of his Hobbit ambitions. All of them. So let's see what's going on in the Shire now. Well, it looks like Frodo's on his way to a feast, so I guess this is where our adventure begins.
Fucking hell, look at this blob. Okay, we've just come across this troll traveling back from the feast, and now originally I was thinking it could be quite funny to slay this troll. However, I'm noticing that you could, in theory, invite him to court. And I'm wondering if I might be able to do this. So I'm going to send him a gift. I'm going to sway him. I'm going to let him go through. I appear to have been scammed. I'm noticing that Mordor seems to be expanding at a fairly alarming rate.
Our little world that we had created was quite odd. For example, Sauron seemed to like me, and Saruman seemed to be employing dwarves to fight for him. But unfortunately, we couldn't spend all day ruining Tolkien's creation, as we just found ourselves in our first spot of bother.
Fuck.
You see, Pippin's kid didn't really like the fact that I was occupying Tookland, and so she decided to revolt. Now, unfortunately, I have zero good commanders in my military, so I had to seek outside help and get some mercenaries. And because I'm a genius, this war wasn't actually that hard. The initial battle of East Farthing went well. With our superior numbers and knights, we were able to win despite Pippin's kid having freakish martial. Next, the hobbits marched to Tookland, which we took. Took their land? Tookland? Yeah? Okay, I'm just going to be quiet. Unfortunately, the North Farthing fell under rebel occupation with the fall of Castle Longcleave. After chasing down the rebels, we finally met, and though they had embedded themselves into the hills overlooking the Shire, it was a resounding success. From there, Frodo's army freed the North Farthing and headed down to Tookland once more to siege the capital. At the same time, my own capital, Hobbiton, was being sieged, and even though it fell, when the armies broke through the walls of Tookland, the white flag was raised, and the war won. After the war, as any good ruler would, I was able to revoke all of her titles, which meant that the Shire was now fully mine.
What the fuck?
If you didn't get time to read that, that was a pop-up which allows me to turn Frodo into a cannibal. I'm sure you can guess what I picked.
I mean, we have to, right?
I also received a lovely poem in the mail detailing my victories over this actual child, so that's nice. However, sitting around didn't quite cut it for Frodo, and he got the taste of war into his little mouth. Over the hills and through the valleys, there's a town named Bree. I'm sure you've seen it in the movies, and you've heard of it in the books. Now Frodo had a dream of expansion and glory. I'm sure you can tell where this is heading. Now, while we were having our Vietnam and Bree, Mordor was having a bit of a field day, which was slightly concerning. However, I didn't have time to be concerned about this because while Frodo was whipping himself, my child, Slightly Toast, walked in and now does the same thing. And whoa, don't worry, I hear you. Who is Slightly Toast? Well, they're one of the 60 smart people who decided to join the LrdHsy Discord. Join today, and you too could die of consumption like Spod here. Make the right call. Link in description. Now at this point I had to switch my focus to diplomacy because I figured out that nobody wants to marry a hobbit, which meant that no one would be my ally. Luckily there is a perk in the diplomacy tree which does allow you to just gain alliances by asking, so I'm glad there's that because without it I would be well and truly screwed. After doing that, Frodo decided that his battle lust was not fulfilled and Colgrin would be his next victim. Up until now, I'd had to rely on mercenaries to get the job done, because hobbits, as it turns out, are completely useless at war. 6 attack, are you? So notice my surprise when we actually start winning by ourselves.
Oh, well, we are genuinely winning. We did lose quite a few hobbits there.
Yes, we did. In fact, almost 1,000 hobbits died. But this was progress. After another battle, the war was won, and Colgrin was ours. To blow off some steam, Frodo decided to eat his vassal in Bree, and then he bought a boat and decided to set sail. He truly is having a midlife crisis. Not too long into his journey, he found himself squaring up against a sea serpent, and actually winning. However, as I was not the most seasoned sailor, things were bound to go wrong. And oh boy, did they go wrong. It all started when we began to run out of food. And from there, it was a downward spiral until eventually Frodo reached lunacy. But you know, at least we got the sailor perk. Now that Frodo was officially a lunatic, he knew the clock was ticking, so he set about invading some more lands around Colgrin, and they went pretty well. But as you can tell, I was beginning to think about the end, and I knew Frodo didn't have much time left.
I'm really not looking forward to playing as my heir. He's kind of useless.
I managed to secure an alliance with some dwarves, but unfortunately, it was just too late.
Oh, fuck.
Frodo had lived a long and fulfilling life. He'd become a cannibal, been scammed by trolls, killed sea serpents. He was also the first hobbit to expand outwards, taking over Bree, and more recently, the lands around Colgrin. His son and heir, although he was useless, was now nicely set up to have a good life, even though Mordor was knocking on our doorstep.